Hey guys. I always like to look up because no one else does. They don't want you looking up. Always keep your head up. Like keep your head up and keep your neck extended, almost like you're getting ready for the guillotine. It does something, I don't know. I forget what it does, but there's a reason why you should do that. So I remember to do it, but I don't remember the reason for it. But yeah, you want your shoulders down, right? And your neck straight up, almost like you're trying to do an ET, and keep your head up. You don't want your chin to fall down. Like you want the bottom of your chin, let me say, yeah, like right there. You want to keep it straight. I remember all this shit, like I was taught all this, but I don't remember what the significance of it is, so. Which I guess is alright. I mean, it's more about remembering the action than the intent. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. That could cause all sorts of problems, especially in the, you know, in some areas. I saw this picture and I looked at it. I glanced at it at first. I thought it was like an artist rendition or something, because I thought it had eyeballs. But this is legit, in my opinion. This is legit. This is what they look like when you see them. And again, instead of going through a bunch of examples and people that you should go to, if you can't find this stuff, or if you have questions like, hey, do you have good demon stuff, like just email me or comment, and I'll send you a link to some shit. But yeah, they all look like that when they're caught on camera. It doesn't mean they really look like that. Like because they're disembodied, they're just energy. But when the energy is caught on a camera or a video, they always appear to have white faces, black circles around the eyes, kind of like how I look a lot, and kind of like there's usually no nose, and you can kind of see a mouth. It's a white face and dark pit eyes. But yeah, sometimes you can see noses and mouths and stuff. There's this one I saw recently which was really good, and now I can't find it, but this kid was having problems in his house that he thought was like some kind of poltergeist or something. He's leaving his house, and his house is getting trashed. He's coming back to it. And there's a picture of him, and he was taking pictures of the kitchen, because the kitchen was all fucked up. Like, I gotta make sure I don't get too close to kids. I like to swear in their kids, but they can't hear me. They're way over there. I gotta clean up my language. I'm all potty mouth. But when he comes back in the kitchen, he's taking pictures of the damage that happened in his house, because he ran out. The house stuff started flying around. He got freaked out, as you know, you would, right? So he ran out of his house. When he came back in, he was taking photos of the damage. And in the kitchen, in the doorway into like what would be like a pantry, looks like they keep like cans and food and stuff in there. In the doorway, in the upper left corner, there's a head peeking around. But like it's in an unnatural spot. It's like it wouldn't, like, again, like what I say all the time, demonic entities, even though they don't have bodies, they have to adhere to the 3D architecture of this realm. Meaning windows, doors, like I talked about before, people summon them or whatever. If they get them out of their points and they have to get rid of them in a room, they either have to go out a door or a window. In the same way, that's why they salt windows and that's why they salt doors, to be able to keep them from coming in. Because they're just energy, really. That's all they are. But for some reason, when they're photographed or they're picked up on film, because film can, video and photographs can see dimensionally where we can't with our eyes. And I mean dimension, I get this is the dimensional term again. It's not geometry, it's not physics, it's not dimensional spaces. It's just these catch-all terms, man. We don't have a good working vocabulary for this shit, and that's by design. But anyway, the head's in the corner. I'm going to look for it again while I'm editing this, and I hope I can find it, because it's really good. It's really, really creepy. And they are kind of creepy to see like that. Not in person, because you don't see them in person. You see a poor person suffering, struggling. and they take a lot out of people. Like I don't know if you've seen the episode there, video, whatever, where I catch one of them in front of Victoria's Secrets, babbling Latin, and when I get over to them, it leaves the woman's body before I can even start talking to it. That was happening a lot lately, but I figured out why that was happening. Anyway, put a pin in that. When I get over to her and the entity leaves her body, she has this like weird look on her face, and she looks over at me. She's like, "I think I ate something bad." What it is like they make you tired because they're using up a lot of your energy when they're in there. They can exhaust people, and sometimes they can hurt the body by exertion. I don't know if they're in some way, I'm sure there's some kind of thing, all right? Because there's a lot of weird rules and shit for this stuff that I don't understand or why they're there. But I don't think they can make the person like jump in front of a train or something. Like I don't think they can do that. They might be able to push people in front of trains, because we've seen a lot of that going on in New York City, especially. Like for instance, I think I told that story about the tattoo artist downtown, Chinatown, friend of mine's friend. Saw a homeless woman like scale the side of his building, and she broke into the top window. The police were called, they never got her, whatever. But he said she climbed the building like a spider, you know? So when they take control of you, they can do shit, but they're pushing your body to its limits. You know, they're, and they can leave you, they can, like, I'm sure she was really sore the next day. Like, it can leave you injured, it can leave you hurt, but I don't think they can purposely make a body hurt itself. I don't know how that works, because there's a whole suicide thing, right? Like there must be some involvement there, but I think I don't know what kind of thing that is, like how that's done. Is it a different method, a different process? Is it a bunch of demonic entities? Is it set off something else? I don't know how that works. But if they could just kill these people inhabiting, I'm sure they would eventually when they're done with them, you know? I don't know. I only know what I experience and what I can pick up on. I know when they get in the body, it takes them a while to acclimate to that body, and sometimes it's harder than others. And that's why where you hear a lot of the yelping and the, you know, all that stuff, because they're trying to take control of how to speak and how to move. And yeah, it's interesting shit. It's interesting shit. But yeah, that picture's pretty creepy. He's looking on in, he's happy. You know, he's happy to see what is going on in front of him. Something like that, I mean, as if you need it reinforced, you really don't. That's what's happening there is evil. That's evil. Now, I don't care what grown people do in their own homes or spaces or whatever, but and I've always felt that way, you know, as long as they leave kids alone. But they don't, because that's the whole point of the whole thing. Whether they're satanically motivated or whatever it is, there's still this need to propagate their species. That's not something they can do naturally. So to get new numbers for their population, they have to go through other means. They have to indoctrinate, groom, whatever, to add to their numbers, because they haven't yet figured out how to put a womb inside a man. They will. I think they're close to it. What's born out of that, if they can make that happen? I know they'll put a womb. They'll get the womb in there for sure. These fucking Dr. Frankensteins. But I doubt it will ever be able to have a baby. I just don't. The rest of the setup isn't prepared for that. The rest of the system in there isn't You know? I just don't see that happening. I can see them probably faking one, you know, to make people think it's real, and then if they think it's real, then, you know, everybody else will want to get one too, and then more people are maimed, you know, more people are mutilated. It's kind of, it causes misery, you know. That's really what the name of the game is. It's kind of what they want, you know, more than anything. So whatever. I mean, just thought that was spooky. So the ongoing poisoning of the food supply in America is pretty interesting too. We had a similar incident in Detroit, and then one in Arizona that are kind of similar. And what's happening in Ohio is, I mean, no food is going to come out of there for many, 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 many years. I mean, it won't be able to. You know. It's crazy. It's crazy, and people are still like surprised that they're not hearing about it. And like I said, they're not hearing about it because, well, they control the media. They have all the media, all of it, and they also control like social media. You know, you think YouTube has some kind of disconnect from old media sources, but it really doesn't, because they could just send a message to them, hey, take this down and get rid of that. I mean, we've seen it with the Coop stuff, you know. So they basically control all those sort of forms of communication. So, but also, if they didn't, it's not news to them. It's not news to them because they did that shit. They arrested a guy over there for trying to report on it. They arrested a guy in Ohio. But I saw some stuff on it. A good play. Poll has been pretty good with that shit. They've been having like a lot of threads about the ongoing situation and how you can see what's going on. A lot of residents from that area trying to put information out. Just lots of dead animals, you know, a lot of dead fish. People are going to be very, very sick. Yeah, I mean, you got to pray for those people, you know. They very dark, very dark. Oh, I got to give him a tip. This guy's awesome. Always got to tip all your artists, man. The ones that aren't doing subversive, crazy stuff, you know. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
There's Hermes. There's got to be a gate there. There's got to be some kind of portal there where that dude came out of, because the second time I saw him, I'm talking about the angel situation I did a video on a couple days ago. The first time he tried to get me was in that building. Tried to get me. He wasn't trying to get my attention. He was going this way again, but we were inside the mall over there. But it would kind of be, I mean, it would be fun. I mean, Hermes, the messenger, you know, whatever. And I mean, it has a lot of other occult connotations, of course, you know. But yeah, that would be pretty apt if there was some kind of connective portal here that led to this area. A lot of people up for a rainy night. I didn't think there'd be much traffic, but yeah, it's nice though. I love this weather. It's my favorite time of year. I'm gonna walk out over here for a change. Yeah, I just want to share that picture. Another thing too, like the thing that's good about YouTube is a lot of the stuff that I wouldn't be able to put on Instagram, and actually Twitter doesn't give me a hard time about anything. I gotta say, I've never had a problem with them. But I mean, I have a very, very small following there, but as I've seen here, it doesn't matter how big your following is. I think the first band I got here, I had like fucking 20 subs or something. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people there are. It just takes the wrong set of eyes. or the wrong words to trip it up, you know. So yeah, but so what am I talking about? Instagram, right? I can't get rid of anything on there. In fact, I currently have I have like 3 accounts going. I was talking to one of my friends, and we're having a conversation on 2 different accounts about 2 different things at the same time. It's funny, but yeah, I can put things up here that I wouldn't be able to put there. Like I think I put here the most recent thing I could think of is like this picture that with all this sort of information meme showing Fauci and his dad. His dad is Mother Teresa. They showed 2 of them together and text about their connections. That gets taken off right away on Instagram, but I put it up here and I never had a problem with it. You know, when you start to put things together on the board with the string, you start to realize, oh, that's why Mother Teresa was against contraception use. You know, it's like, well, it doesn't make sense. They're starving over there, right? And she's trying to grow more people, get a larger population. And you look into it, right? And you're like, well, we're sending so much money there. Why are they starving there? And then you're like, well, it's probably local warlords, right? It comes into well, this is what I used to think, right? Oh, it's coming into the country. It's not getting to the people that need it. And then there's, you know, guerrillas fighting, rebels. There's always some kind of armed struggle going on for power out there. But like, I'm at the level now, and let me wait for this to light change. There we go. That I think a lot of those starvation memes, I think they have a little fucking farm where they got the starving kids on, or they have where they keep them, and they just use them for photo ops, right? The same ones, because they of course they need more money all the time, because what that place is, it basically is a people farm. They're just growing people. They're producing people, manufacturing people that they can then ship all over the world. People that wouldn't necessarily be able to live comfortably next to a lot of first worlders. There's just a large gap in understanding, and that's where you get violence and terror and all that other stuff. But they also make the perfect golems. So that continent has become like a golem creating machine. So that money is probably definitely going to food. It's paying for new things and, you know, helping grow more food, to grow more gods. It's like the droid factory or something, a Star Wars situation, just pumping these people out, sending them all over the world to destroy societies. That's basically what's happening, you know. It's not nice to think about, but what are you going to do? Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.